welcome to Canonical. I'm James Shao, and as always, I'm joined by Eyad Darris and Sam Spieler.
Ooh, hey.
Hey.
Hello, guys. So this is, I guess, a birthday or an anniversary of sorts, right? Because we are celebrating our 50th episode.
Break out the champagne.
Woo.
Yeah. Yeah, that cheap Chinese champagne from, not real France. It's been about a year since we conceived of this podcast and book club. A little known fact, mostly because no one cares. The first book we actually discussed was for our book club, and it was New York 2140 by Kim Stanley Robinson, which I think we thought it was okay, right?
It's
Not
okay.
great, not too bad. You guys didn't miss too much. That discussion was eh. But anyway, we conceived of this as a private book club, and we didn't record the discussion. After that, we thought, well, the world needs more in-depth discussion of literature, obviously. So since then, we've gotten together to talk about 24 books, and I think we've enjoyed most of them. What do you guys think? Looking over these 24 books, what were some of your favorites from the past year?
I liked The Emissary. I liked Pale Fire. Nearly all of them. There are maybe one or two exceptions, but I liked all of them.
So The Emissary was by Yoko Tawada, and that was really early on from our contemporary Japanese fiction series.
Yeah, it was the third book.
So if you're looking for that episode, and that's something that all three of us liked. So if you want to listen to that one, you'll have to scroll all the way back in our archives. But I think all three of us still hold that book in pretty high regard.
Do you think that's usually the case? Do we usually agree?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we often agree. There are times when we have been completely split, but yeah, I think you're right. We often come down on the same side.
Yeah, it's not like one person will say it's shit and the other one will say it's champagne, but I do think that there is a difference. Like sometimes I'll really like something and James will only kind of like it.
Yeah, and I find that usually if there is a difference between the two of you, I'm somewhere in between.
Right. Where I think we tend to differ are the philosophical novels.
Yeah, probably.
You and me specifically, I think that you are more interested in philosophical novels, and I think they're okay, but just okay.
Just okay.
What about you, Sam? What were some of your favorites?
Same. I liked most of them. I could always find something to enjoy, but the ones that really stood out were The Emissary, Nabokov's Pale Fire, and I think also pretty high up was Kurt Vonnegut's Galapagos.
Yes, and that was from our transhumanist series a while back around the time of the new year. So if you want to listen to that one, it was a couple of months ago. But yeah, I think we all enjoyed the Galapagos.
The thing I've noticed is that Sam really likes to think about identity and identity politics, and James really likes to think about murder mysteries.
Yeah, especially when Sam starts going on about identity politics. That's when I really start thinking about murder.
Yeah. How would I do it? Not that I would, but if I did.
And after I do it, why did I do it? Let's think about why donuts. Those are all my favorites as well, so I won't repeat the reasons why or anything like that. But I will also add Kafka on the Shore. It was in some ways unfortunate that it's the first book we read because I think our discourse has gotten better since then, and our recording quality has definitely gotten better.
It's not the first.
That was the second. Murata came first.
Sorry, yes, the second.
You just want to skip over that one.
I just want to skip over Convenience Store Woman because I don't even care about it at all. No, that was a fine book too. But Kafka on the Shore, I thought, was a fun discussion and a fun read. I really enjoyed Kafka on the Shore as a read.
Yeah, that for me was a runner-up, but I really enjoyed that discussion and changed my mind about it during the discussion. Feel like when we talked about it more, I appreciated a lot of things and thought about a lot of things that I hadn't while reading.
Sam, you're stepping on James' question.
I'm leading him into it.
It's okay. I'm going to cut him out anyway because I'm editing.
Ah,
Cut.
And one more I'll add onto it is I don't know if you guys enjoyed it as much, but I really did like Blindness. Like for me, it might be top four alongside The Emissary and Galapagos and maybe Pale Fire.
That was a runner-up for me as well.
Yeah, I liked it. It'd be tough to do any sort of like a bracket system to take my favorites from other series and pit them against each other. Like, I like them, but in very different ways.
Okay, I will say that I'm surprised that Stoner was not on your list yet because you really extolled the virtues of Stoner when we discussed it.
Well, this is where we disagree. And in the face of that disagreement, I feel like I have to stand up for Stoner because there are times when I feel like I'm misunderstood. Like Sam and James will gang up on me as a team and they'll just like keep punching me. And it's like, I got to fight back. And somebody has to stand up for Stoner. So I guess it has to be me.
So are you saying you don't actually like Stoner that much? You just wanted to fight back?
No, what I'm saying is that you guys are picking on Stoner because he didn't really understand it. So I have to stand up for him.
What I take away from this is Sam's the one who's always picking on other people because he's the one in the middle. So he's the decider. Whichever one that he likes, the other guy gets picked on.
Yeah.
Damn, they figured me out.
Yeah. So Stoner was from our campus novels series, and Blindness was from our pandemic literature series. So those are all from a while back as well, if anyone wants to check them out. Books that you didn't like? What do you think? I think we'll all have a couple in common as well for these.
Vagabonds for sure.
Yeah, I think that was probably all of our least favorite.
I am ashamed to have chosen it because I feel like my track record is pretty good, but that is a real misstep. So I got to apologize.
Well, as we discussed in that episode, which was actually a lot of fun to record, so I encourage people to listen to it. I don't think that's your fault. You were led astray. We both were led astray by that one review.
We were conned.
Yeah.
Conned by Virginia Kahn of the LA Times.
The LA Review of Books.
Yes, the LARB, the LA Review of Books.
The
LARB.
Well, you guys can't gang up on me here. I thought Vagabonds was poorly written, but I liked parts of the book. So if you're reading it just for fun, I think it's okay. Like, it's not great. And if you're just looking for an airplane book, like, it's okay. I didn't struggle to get through it, I guess. It was easy for me to read it.
Oh, I did. After a certain point, I definitely struggled. I'd say 2/3 of the way through.
Yeah, it's definitely way too long, but I guess I'd say Vagabonds too. But looking over our list, I mean, people didn't really like The Human Stain, and I thought that was okay too. So, that was okay.
That one was a difficult one. I recognize that he was good at what he did. What's his name? Now that I can't think of it.
Philip Roth.
Phil Roth.
I recognize that Philip Roth was a good writer, but just did not sit well with me. And again, there were sections of that book that I did appreciate, that I did like, but as a whole, I couldn't do it.
Favorite series? Is there a favorite series?
There are some series that I'm less sure about, and some series that I think are kind of pretty loosely gathered together. I think that the Chinese science fiction series wasn't done very well just because it's, to me at least, not enough to just say, oh, they're all sci-fi, they're all Chinese. That's what they have in common. Like, I want something a little bit more than that in a series.
Okay, so what is the favorite series? You can think of it as most enjoyable, if that changes it for you.
Maybe transhumanism.
I think transhumanism was fun. Wind Up Girl was tough from that just because it was problematic, but it was still a enjoyable read. I think all of the books in that had something good to offer.
Yeah, I guess I'd feel the same way. I'm surprised you didn't go for Race in Contemporary America, since that's up your alley.
It was. I did enjoy that series as well. In fact, I did list in my runners-up list 2 of those 3 books. I don't know. It's a tough thing to pick. We did read a lot of good books.
All right, let's talk about what we have coming up.
We have quite a lot of things planned for the future. We're going to take a look at some novels that are about immigration and also novels from Nigeria. these kinds of series about books from around the world are things that our listeners have really been asking us to focus on, and I'm really eager to do it as well. I think Nigeria is probably one of the first that we'll do, but definitely not the last, because there's lots of fiction that I'm not aware of and I would like to learn more about.
And I think that's one of the nice surprises from this past year is we've gotten quite a few people comment on our subreddit. People reach out to us and talk about what they liked reading or what they would like us to suggest. That's been pretty nice. It's a nice surprise because honestly, I don't expect it. I don't expect people to take time out of their day to say something nice. So thanks to everyone who did that. That's been a really nice surprise for me.
Yes. Please continue to do that, because at this point I can kind of predict the kinds of books that Sam will bring to the table and James as well. So if somebody on Reddit can join us and let us know, hey, this is something that you should take a look at, that's definitely appreciated. We're always open to suggestions.
Yeah, we've really loved making this over the past year or so, but we also could really use your support. So please, if you are feeling generous, leave us a nice review on Apple Podcasts. Tell your bookish friends about us, and hell, tell your friends who need to read more books about us. Join our subreddit at our Canonical Pod. Come and talk with us. We would really love to hear what you have to think about our discussions. But more importantly, we want you to be a part of them. Talk to us on Reddit, ask questions, tell us where we've gone wrong, and get in the game.
Yeah, because reading can be a solitary endeavor, but it doesn't have to be. So we're trying to build a community here. And, if you only want to listen, that's fine. But if you want to chat with us, that's even better for us anyway. So we don't have to talk to each other. We might end up getting sick of each other after all these episodes, after all.
Yeah, as James said at the beginning of this little bonus episode, we originally came up with this as a book club, and
we quickly realized that just the three of us was not going to work out.
Kind of boring.
Yeah. Identity politics, blah, blah, blah. Philosophy, blah, blah, blah. Just like that.
Spot on.
All right. Well, we'll conclude here. Thank you for listening to this special 50th anniversary extravaganza. On Friday, we'll return to our regular schedule. As Sam mentioned, you can always chat with us on Reddit at our Canonical Pod, and we are also on Twitter and Facebook as well. Till next time, happy reading. We'll talk to you in a few days.